Hi, Susan Stevens here from Liberated Living. So, today we're talking about our inner child. So, what is that, our inner child? You know, I like to ask people the question, have you talked to your inner child today? Do you know what your inner child needs and wants in this moment? And too often, when I ask this in seminars, everyone looks around the room and I think they think I'm completely crazy. And truly, I'm being absolutely brutally honest and serious. There was a time in my life that I had no idea what my inner child even was. I was so disconnected from myself and from my body that I had no awareness about what I was feeling and what I needed and where these feelings and beliefs came from. And that's the thing with our inner child. And I like to always also refer to this as your unconscious mind, because too often in life we have behaviors that we don't adore, we don't like, whether it's we keep drinking or we keep repeating the same pattern. We eat too many cookies all the time. Maybe we emotionally eat. Maybe we're late all the time. Maybe we always leave things to the end, or we're procrastinators, or perhaps we fly off the handle, or we can't speak in public situations. And no matter how hard we try to change it, we find that willpower never works. And we kind of leave confused and really hard on ourselves because we feel almost ashamed that we can't kick the behavior. And that's because 95% of your behaviors come from the unconscious mind. And that is what I mean when I refer to the inner child. So, what is this inner child thing? So, when we were kids, and usually children, especially children below the age of 5, this is when a lot of our thoughts and beliefs and ideas about life were formed. And as a child, we tended to think that if something went wrong in our world, it meant there was something wrong with us. And I see this often even with my son, who's 2, is when I'm sad or emotional, he starts to apologize right away. He starts to say, "I'm sorry, Mommy, I'm sorry, Mommy," as if he did something wrong when it has nothing to do with him. And so we tend to think that if we could only do right as children, then we would get the approval of our parents or our caregivers. We would get their love and we would get their acceptance. If we could behave, if we could act appropriately, if we could say the right things. And so these beliefs and thoughts that we choose when we're younger impact us for the rest of our lives. And a lot of times, depending on how we were raised or what our parents were like, we start developing these beliefs that say, there's something wrong with me. I'm not worthy of love. Anger isn't okay. Sadness isn't nurtured. We're supposed to suck it up. We're supposed to behave. We're supposed to be kind. We're supposed to be generous. So what happens when you feel like being selfish? Or you feel like nurturing yourself? Or you feel like being needy? And I mean, who doesn't want to be really needy? Like at their core of, us women, wouldn't it be so lovely to be able to say, listen, I need you to come over here. Like, today I'm feeling so sad. Are you able to come over here, and can it be all about me? And I don't want any advice, and can you rub my feet at the same time? I mean, who wouldn't want that? And too often as little kids, we believe that being needy isn't okay. And so we go through life and we become these strong, independent women or males or men that have to be strong. And it's no longer a choice of whether we're strong. It's, I have to be strong to be accepted. I have to be strong to get approval. I have to be strong to succeed in life. And instead of choosing from a place of inspiration, we're choosing from a space of fear. And that's the problem, is that any action that comes from a space of fear creates more of the same. So if you had a feeling, say, I remember, for example, when I was 14, actually, I guess I was in grade 12, and I used to be a runner and an extreme athlete. And I hurt my Achilles, and I remember I also hit puberty. And so I went from 95 pounds to 130 pounds. And I gained like 30 pounds in a very short period of time because I had, I used to have indents, and then I went to like double D's in a matter of months. And all my coaches told me that I had to lose weight. And this created real problems for me and insecurities, because I had never ever thought about what I looked like in my life. And from that point on, I always felt like I was never enough in terms of my body image. And I would go on diet after diet after diet. And no matter how much I lost or how much, it was never enough. Even when I was the weight that I wanted, I was so scared of gaining it back. And that was the problem, is that my actions, the action of trying to lose weight, was from a place of not enoughness, not okayness, and ultimately sadness. And so any action from sadness always creates more of the same.